Gentlemen, good morning. We will be getting underway shortly, so may I kindly request you to please take your seats for the opening of the senior official segment. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the 73rd session of the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific. May I also request everyone to turn off their phones or to set them to silent mode during the meeting to avoid any disruptions in the proceedings. I'm pleased to announce that in continuation of the efforts to move towards a paper-smart model of meetings, you should have received at registration a USB flash drive containing the pre-session documents and other useful information about the session. In addition, all documents can be found on the Commission website, and delegates are encouraged to download or print them out in advance of the session. A gentle reminder that only one printed copy of the Commission's documents will be provided to each delegation on request. These may be requested from the Document Distribution Center, or what we commonly call the pigeonholes next to Conference Room 1. You may also use the self-service copy center located in the delegates' working area in Meeting Room A. Please also note that all draft resolutions can be downloaded from the website of the Advisory Committee of Permanent Representatives, or ACPR. Please get in touch with your delegation's liaison officers to obtain the username and password. You will also find a number of touchscreen kiosks outside meeting rooms and in public areas that present useful information such as the orders of the day, the timetable, and information on side events. We are pleased to inform you that all meeting rooms and public areas are fully equipped with wireless connections and power sources. In addition, a limited number of laptop computers and tablets are available for loan upon request by member state delegations. Interested delegations can inquire at the registration desk located on the ground floor of this building. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in welcoming Ms. Shamshad Akhtar, Under-Secretary General of the United Nations and Executive Secretary of the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, and Mr. Mitch Shea, Secretary of the Commission. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to invite Ms. Shamshad Akhtar, Under-Secretary General of the United Nations and Executive Secretary of ESCAP, to deliver our opening statement.
So, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to all of you. This is a special occasion because this is welcome to all of you to the 73rd session of the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific. As you all know, this year marks the 70th anniversary of the establishment of ESCAP and the second year of implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The Secretariat has worked with member states to reform ESCAP and make it what we call fit for purpose to support the Sustainable Development Goals. Together with all of you, we have made considerable progress in formulating strategies that seek to eradicate poverty and ensure the development balances the needs of economy, people, and planet. Allow me to highlight some of the major outcomes and achievements in this regard. A word about 2030 Agenda. A major outcome of the 4th Asia-Pacific Forum for Sustainable Development was the agreement to put the regional roadmap for implementing the 2030 Agenda up for endorsement at this Commission session. The roadmap promotes the balanced integration of the 3 dimensions of sustainable development. It sets out a series of priority areas for regional cooperation. It also calls for enhanced technical cooperation on the thematic areas, including disaster risk reduction and resilience, climate change and connectivity, as well as on the means of implementation, including finance, data and statistics, partnerships, and technology. We count on the Commission's final endorsement of the regional roadmap later this week. ESCAP is in the process of developing a regional resource facility on SDGs. This is expected to be one of the key mechanisms to promote South-South, North-South, and triangular cooperation on 2030 Agenda in the Asia-Pacific. It will comprise of 1, cutting-edge analytical reports addressing gaps in the SDGs and providing policy solutions which respond to the specific situations of countries. 2, a compendium of good practices and policies with an analysis of their transferable elements. 3, a database of experts and organizations working on SDG-related issues. 4, online capacity building tools which will allow policymakers and other stakeholders to acquire skills and knowledge on the SDGs. And 5, statistical database on SDG targets and indicators. The resource facility will also have funds to promote face-to-face exchanges on specific issues of interest to member states. Let me now turn to the topic of regional economic cooperation and integration. We have, with your support, made major strides in promoting regional economic cooperation and integration. At the Committee on ICT and STI last year, member states endorsed the master plan for the Asia-Pacific Information Superhighway and Asia-Pacific Information Superhighway Regional Cooperation Framework document. Together, these documents aim to close the growing digital divide. ESCAP was requested to analyze the region's needs, build capacity, share best practices, and develop common standards to enable the widespread use of ICT. The committee has also agreed that an Asia-Pacific innovation platform had the potential to enhance knowledge sharing, facilitate collaboration, and support an effective interface between science and policy. Let me turn to another committee. Last December in Moscow, member states adopted the Ministerial Declaration on Sustainable Transport Connectivity in Asia-Pacific. This agreement is a blueprint for strengthening the regional cooperation in the transport sector in Asia-Pacific. It also provides new impetus for achieving the vision of seamless connectivity based on quality sustainable infrastructure and supported policy and legal frameworks. The ministerial conference also strongly supported the establishment of an inter-regional coordination committee on transport between Asia and Europe. To this end, harmonizing technical and operational standards will be critical to ensuring seamless connectivity between the two regions and for addressing the connectivity challenges Central Asian countries face. In January, the new Committee on Energy convened for the first time on ESCAP platform. The committee confirmed the need for regional collaboration on SDG 7. The committee deliberated on the trends and issues relating to affordable, reliable, and sustainable energy, as well as the need for increased connectivity and sustainable clean energy solutions. The inaugural committee session also provides the guidance and direction for how Energy Committee and ESCAP's newly formed Energy Division should function. On the request of our member states, this year, we also conducted the theme study, the Regional Cooperation for Sustainable Energy in Asia and the Pacific. It provides an assessment of the factors that can support sustainable energy transformation in our region. The theme study underscores that a new architecture for regional energy governance, drawing on shared knowledge and experience, needs to be developed. To facilitate this, the study recommends developing a regional cooperation framework on sustainable energy to enable governments to identify pathways towards energy system transition. These pathways include strengthening governance, improving economic transformation and improving economic instruments, strengthening partnerships, mobilizing finance and investment, capitalizing on opportunities for energy connectivity and trade, promoting science, technology, and innovation, and managing the trade-offs. Many of these topics will, of course, be discussed at the second Asian and Pacific Energy Forum in 2018. Last month, these strands of connectivity, namely ICT, transport and energy, together with market integration, financial cooperation, and shared vulnerabilities were discussed at the high-level dialogue on regional economic cooperation and integration. In particular, the high-level dialogue focused on mutually reinforcing nature of regional economic cooperation and integration, RECI, and the 2030 Agenda. 4 key recommendations emerge from the dialogue. First, to support market integration, Asia-Pacific should reduce non-tariff barriers, streamline regulatory frameworks, agree on common standards, and implement the framework agreement on cross-border paperless trade. Second, seamless connectivity and integrated sustainable transport, energy, across the region must be realized. Third, improving regional economic surveillance and crisis management capacity, deepening financial markets, and delivering innovative financial solutions to support sustainable infrastructure development will strengthen financial cooperation. Finally, shared vulnerabilities and risks which cut across the policy spectrum must be addressed through a multi-sectoral approach to disaster risk reduction to achieve sustainable development. Regional cooperation should help countries with high risks but low capacities by providing them the opportunity to engage with other member states to find common strategies, approaches, and tools for building resilience to disasters. Let me turn to another very important topic, financing for development. The 4th high-level dialogue on financing for development, co-hosted by the Ministry of Finance of Sri Lanka, deepened our engagement in enhancing the role of public finance for sustainable development. Member states called for more broad-based discussions among policymakers, tax administrators, and relevant regional and sub-regional organizations to address tax challenges in the region. ESCAP was encouraged to leverage its intergovernmental mechanisms and existing platforms to facilitate such discussions. Through our FFD platform, ESCAP has also been cross-fertilizing the experience of the role of the private sector in building resilient and sustainable infrastructure through public-private partnerships, PPPs, and in deepening and integrating capital markets. To this end, ESCAP was requested to support PPP capacity buildings programs in our member states and lead an Asia-Pacific PPP unit network to promote PPP country experience sharing. The importance of greater financial inclusion for individuals and small and medium enterprises has Member states have noted that enhancing financial inclusion requires a well-designed financial regulatory framework which balances the objectives of increasing access to finance and maintaining financial stability and consumer protection. To this end, ESCAP has been requested to set up a working group to advance financial inclusion in the region. The Committee on Macroeconomic Policy, Poverty Reduction, and now including financing for development in this committee, will take the FFD agenda forward under member states' guidance. Let me move to yet another important means of implementation, enhancing data and statistics. The Committee on Statistics, which was held last December, established a way forward for regional collaboration to strengthen statistics for the SDGs by endorsing a collective vision and framework for action, which was also incorporated into the regional roadmap at APFSD. Going forward, ESCAP will focus on development of statistical methods and management and business processes. This work program will increase the use of innovative data collection, enhance the use and analysis of statistics through the application of data integration and disaggregation methods, and increase the use of data sources from the broader national data ecosystem to modernize the production of official statistics. To support this work, ESCAP, together with Asian Development Bank and UNDP, has launched an SDG partnership data portal, which is enriched by the Statistical Yearbook for Asia and the Pacific and the ESCAP Regional Statistical Database. Let me now turn to a very important area, which is the need for enhancing partnerships to enable effective implementation of the 2030 Agenda. ESCAP's main priority is to support SDG implementation, not alone by ourselves, but through effective cooperation with all stakeholders. We have revitalized our partnerships and ensured our platform enhances linkages at all levels of development spectrum, from policymakers to on-the-ground implementing partners. ESCAP reformed the regional coordination mechanism to encourage a unified regional response so that the UN system services in a coherent manner. This will enable the Regional Commission to serve as a bridge between the global level and the country level. The RCM now comprises 7 thematic working groups, which offer holistic, cross-sectoral policy and analytical advice on the SDGs. At an operational level, ESCAP has further developed our partnerships to enhance coordination and cooperation. For example, the new SDGs partnership between ESCAP, ADB, and UNDP pools resources and expertise and provides member states with efficiency dividends. While, while this partnership's origin dates back to the MDGs, its recent relaunch has the potential to enhance impact. ESCAP has also furthered its engagement with sub-regional organizations, including ASEAN, SAARC, Economic Cooperation Organization, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and Pacific Island Forum. With this now, let me turn to the administrative reforms. We can't work unless we rationalize and simplify ourselves. To ensure we assist member states in implementing the 2030 Agenda, the Secretariat must be effective and efficient. Easier said than done. To this end, nonetheless, we have launched several key administrative measures, including AMOJA and IPSIS to manage the allocation of resources and provide comprehensive and timely management information. We have also proactively participated in the Secretary General's management reforms, which are still being formulated, by the way, including the Global Service Delivery Model, the Gender Strategy, and the ICT Strategy. All this will be enhanced once the blueprint of the Secretary General's new reforms are also brought forward, and we will be asked to reform ourselves accordingly more. In 2016, member states approved the seismic and retrofit and life cycle replacement project to ensure compliance with seismic and other fire and life safety codes for the premises. Long-term benefits of the project include sustainability, energy efficiency, life cycle costing, space usage, and accessibility for persons with disabilities. Let me now turn to strategic priorities, resolutions, and decisions guiding the way forward. A substantial and important week lies ahead of us. The 9 resolutions that you have sponsored this year capture the need for coordinated action on regional cooperation and integration and the SDGs. A series of resolutions focus on strengthening the Asia-Pacific Information Superhighway, energy and transport connectivity, and highlight national and regional initiatives in this regard. Other resolutions address the challenges that continue to confront the landlocked developing countries as well as member states in the Pacific. A final resolution seeks to ensure that we work together to overcome our vulnerabilities to natural disasters. This urgent priority for our region was more provides an opportunity to reflect on the importance and successes of ESCAP, but also serves to remind us of the challenges ahead that we need to deliver to you. Progress on our inclusive, multi-sectoral intergovernmental platform has been substantive, serving to support regional economic prosperity and to lift the living standards of our people. With concerted reforms and restructuring, we stand ready to further support you in eradicating poverty and inequalities through coordinated and integrated sustainable development goals implementation, reinforced by regional cooperation and integration dialogue. I look forward to the debates ahead, and I thank you for your support for the full year and months to come. I'm really pleased to have you all here. Let us know what we can do further for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Executive Secretary, for your statement. At this time, I turn over the proceedings to the Executive Secretary, who will now conduct the remainder of the meeting.
Distinguished representatives, ladies and gentlemen, with your permission, we will now consider Agenda Item 1B, the election of the bureaus of the senior official segment. The bureaus consist of the chairs and vice chairs of the committees of the whole 1 and 2, as well as the working group on draft resolutions. May I request distinguished delegates to make their recommendations. Okay. I give the floor to the distinguished delegate of the Russian Federation.
Thank you, Madam Executive Secretary. Taking into account the importance of the 2 committees of the whole and the working group on draft resolutions, as well as the experience and seniority of the delegations, I have the honor to propose the election of the following distinguished representatives for the bureaus of the senior officials segment. Committee of the Whole 1. Chair, Ms. Noumeir Simi, Chief Executive Officer, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, Samoa. Vice Chairs, Mr. Mostanbila Bach, Deputy Director General, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Afghanistan. Mr. Mias Bora, Deputy Secretary General, National Committee for ESCAP, Cambodia. Committee of the Whole 2. Chair, Ms. Doma Tsering, Director, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Bhutan. Vice Chairs, Mr. Emin Mamadov, Head of Global Economic Cooperation Division, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Azerbaijan. Mr. Kamso Kupokam, Deputy Director General, Ministry of Energy and Mines, Lao PDR. For the Working Group on Draft Resolutions, as Chair, His Excellency Mr. Kaga Na Adhikari, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary and Permanent Representative of the Nepal to ESCAP. And for Vice Chair, Mr. Peter Tagikakireva, Counselor and Alternate Permanent Representative of Fiji to ESCAP. I thank you, Madam Secretary. I'm sure that the distinguished colleagues that I have proposed will discharge their duties efficiently for the successful deliberations of the respective committees and working group.
Thank you to the delegate from Russian Federation. Does any delegation wish to second the nomination? I recognize Bangladesh delegate.
Madam Executive Secretary, on behalf of the Bangladesh delegation, I have the great pleasure in seconding the nomination which has just been proposed by the distinguished delegates of Russian Federation for various positions of the senior official segment of the Bureau. Thank you, Madam Executive Secretary.
Are there any further nominations? If none, it is my great pleasure to declare that for Committee of the Whole 1, we have elected Ms. Noumeir Simi, Chief Executive Officer, Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Samoa. Vice Chairs, Mr. Mostanbila Bach, Deputy Director General, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Afghanistan. Mr. Mias Bora, Deputy Secretary General, National Committee for ESCAP of Cambodia. Let me turn to the Committee of the Whole 2. Chair, nominated Ms. Doma Tsering, Director, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Bhutan. Vice Chairs, Mr. Emin Mamadov, Head of Global Economic Cooperation Division, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Azerbaijan. Mr. Hamso Kupo Kam, Deputy Director General, Ministry of Energy and Mines, Lao PDR. For the Working Group on Draft Resolution, His Excellency Mr. Kaga Nath Adhikari, none other than our ambassador here, extraordinary and plenipotentiary and permanent representative of the Nepal to ESCAP. Mr. Peter Tagikakireva, Counselor and alternate permanent representative of Fiji to ESCAP. I apologize if the pronunciations were not right. Let us congratulate all the members of the bureaus by acclamation. Distinguished representatives, ladies and gentlemen, with your permission, I will retain the chair Very briefly, additionally, for the next item, 1C, adoption of the agenda. The provisional agenda is contained in document E/SCAP/73/L1. Are there any comments on the proposed agenda? Okay, if none, I announce that the agenda is so adopted. If I now request the Secretary of the Commission to make some announcements for you all. Over to you, Mitch.
Thank you very much, Madam Executive Secretary, and good morning to everybody as we open this 73rd session of the Commission. I'm pleased to announce that at this year's session, we have several additional side events that are being held at the initiative of member states. We have quite an extensive list. They are as follows. Today, a luncheon will be hosted by the government of Japan on space applications for environment. There will also be an all-day discussion of space applications for environment. Tomorrow, Mongolia is sponsoring a luncheon for landlocked developing countries on the International Think Tank for LLDCs. Then on Thursday, during the ministerial segment, there will be two events. First, starting at noon, a luncheon event on sustainable energy for inclusive growth and development will be hosted by the government of Bangladesh, followed by another event hosted by the government of Japan on building resilience to water-related disaster risks. On Friday, the delegation of Fiji is hosting us for breakfast at an event to discuss the high-level consultation on oceans and seas. And then Friday afternoon, Sri Lanka is hosting a lunchtime event on sustainable social development here in Asia and the Pacific. You can find detailed information on each of these other events, as well as other information on our Commission website, as well as the touch screens that are located throughout the UN Conference Center. Now, as we've mentioned, the 73rd session of the Commission also coincides with the 70th anniversary of the establishment of ESCAP by the Economic and Social Council in 1947. To commemorate this anniversary, we have prepared an exhibition on the history of ESCAP and its achievements over the last 7 decades. This exhibition will be available later this week, just outside this room on this level. Meanwhile, an additional exhibition is downstairs on the first floor and represents the different achievements of countries on the theme of this year's session, regional cooperation for sustainable energy. I'd like to also remind delegations that this year, the Commission will be electing the Governing Council of the Asian and Pacific Center for Transfer of Technology, or APCTT. Please note that in accordance with the statute of the institution, the host country, India, is automatically a member of the Governing Council, and the elections this year are for no fewer than 8 additional members. All members and associate members of ESCAP are welcome to express their interest in joining the Governing Council by submitting a completed nomination form that is available on the Commission website under Conference Bulletin Number 2, Election to the Governing Council of APCTT. This form should be provided to the Secretariat no later than 12 noon tomorrow, Tuesday, 16 May. Thus far, the Secretariat has received nominations from the following delegations: Bangladesh, Fiji, the Islamic Republic of Iran, Malaysia, Pakistan, the Philippines, the Republic of Korea, and Sri Lanka. I'm also pleased to inform everybody that the Executive Secretary will be hosting a gala reception on Wednesday evening for all participants of the Commission. You should have received an invitation card to the reception when checking in. If not, your liaison officers will also be able to assist you in this regard. The reception will be accompanied by traditional Thai music from our own ESCAP Staff Council. Then on Thursday night, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Royal Thai Government will be hosting its reception for our participants. Transportation has been arranged between here and the Ministry, and we'll provide further details as they come along. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your attention. We will be having a short break now, After the break, once again, may I invite you to, for those of you who are participating in the Committee of the Whole 1, we will reconvene here in this conference room, while those in Committee of the Whole 2 will be convened in Committee of the Whole 2 will be convened in Conference Room 2 next door. Thank you very much, Madam.
Before I adjourn this meeting, I should like to inform all delegates that Committee of the Whole 1 will convene in its chair, as he mentioned, in one of in this conference room, and also the Committee of the Whole 2, as he mentioned, will be in conference 2, so that you all for sure know where to go. The sessions will continue to examine the agenda item 3. Kindly let us know if you need any help and support. We are here to guide you. With these concluding points, I'd like to declare the meeting adjourned. Thank you for being here.